Okay, we're on Numbers today. A year after Israel's depart from Egypt, the Lord spoke to Moses in the tabernacle in the wilderness of Sinai. On the first day of the second month of that year, he said, "From the whole community of Israel, record the names of the whole community of the names of all the warriors by their clans, old or older, who are able to go to war. You and Aaron must register the troops, and you will be assisted by one family leader for each of your tribes. These are the tribes and the names of each of the leaders who will assist you." I'll try to assist you. Sorry, that took a while. Reuben. Eliezer, son of Shedeur. Simeon, Shalemiel, son of Zurishaddai. Judah, Nashon, son of Amminadab. Issachar, Nathanael of Zuar. Zebulun, Eliab, son of Helon. I don't think I'm gonna list these because they're not gonna help, me, I don't know, do the stories, but it'll just be cool to show. So I'm not gonna list any of the names. These are the chosen leaders of the community, the leaders of their ancestral tribes, the heads of the clans of Israel. So Moses and Aaron called together these chosen leaders, and they assembled the whole community of Israel on that very day. All the people were registered according to their ancestry by clans and families. The men of Israel were 20 years old or older, who were listed one by one, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. So Moses recorded their names in the wilderness of Sinai. This is the number of men 20 years old or older who were able to go to war, as their names were listed in the records of their clans and families. Okay, and then it goes on to list the tribes again. These are the men registered by Moses and Aaron and the 12 leaders of Israel, all listed according to their ancestral descent. They were registered by families, all the men of Israel who were 20 years or older and able to go to the war. The total number was 603,550. But this total did not include the Levites, for the Lord had said to Moses, "Do not include the tribe of Levi in registration. Do not count them in with the rest of the Israelites. Put the Levites in charge of the tabernacle of the covenant, along with all the furnishings and equipment. They must carry the tabernacle and all its furnishings as you travel, and they must take care of it and camp around it. Whenever it is time for the tabernacle to move, the Levites will take it down, and when it's time to stop, they will set it up again. But any unauthorized person who goes too near the tabernacle must be put to death. Each tribe of Israel will camp in a designated area with its own family banner. But the Levites will camp around the tabernacle of the covenant to protect the community of Israel from the Lord's anger. The Levites are responsible for standing guard around the tabernacle." So the Israelites did everything as the Lord had commanded Moses. Organization for Israel's camp. Then the Lord gave these instructions to Moses and Aaron. When the Israelites set up each camp, each tribe will be assigned its own area. The tribal division will camp beneath their family banners on all four sides of the tabernacle, but some at a distance from it. The division of Judah, Issachar, Zebulun are to camp towards the sunrise of the east side of the tabernacle beneath their family banners. These are the names of the tribes, their leaders, and the number of registered troops. So the total of all of the troops on Judah's side of the camp were 186,400. These three tribes are to lead the way whenever the Israelites travel to a new campsite. The division of Reuben, Simeon, and Gad are to camp on the south side of the tabernacle beneath their family banners. These are the names of the tribes, their leaders, and the number of the registered troops. So the total of all the troops on Reuben's side of the camp was 151,450. These are the 3 tribes that will be second in line whenever the Israelites travel. Then the tabernacle carried by the Levites will set out from the middle of the camp. All the tribes are to travel. To travel in the same order that they camp in each position under the appropriate family banner. The division of Ephraim, Manasseh, and Benjamin are to camp on the west side of the tabernacle beneath their family banners. These are the names of the tribes, their leaders, and numbers of their registered troops. So the total number of the Ephraim side of the camp is 108,100. These are the 3 tribes that will be third in line whenever the Israelites travel. The division of Dan, Asher, and Naphtali are to camp on the north side of the tabernacle beneath their family banners. These are the names of the tribes, their leaders, and the number of the registered troops. So the total of Dan's side was 157,600. These are the 3 tribes that will be last marching under their banners whenever the Israelites travel. In summary, the total troops of Israel listed by their families totaled 603,550, but as the Lord had commanded, the Levites were not included in this registration. So the people of Israel did everything as the Lord had commanded Moses. Each clan and family set up camp and marched under their banners exactly as the Lord had instructed them. Levites appointed for service. This is the family line of Aaron and Moses, as it was recorded as the Lord spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai. The names of Aaron's sons were Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, Ithamar. These sons of Aaron were anointed and ordained to minister as priests. But Nadab and Abihu died in the Lord's presence in the wilderness of Sinai when they had burned before the Lord of the wrong kind of fire, before he had commanded. Since they had no sons, this left Eleazar and Ithamar to serve as priests with their father Aaron. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Call forward the tribe of Levi and present them to Aaron and the priests to serve as assistants. They will serve Aaron and his whole community, performing their sacrificial duties, their sacred duties in and around the tabernacle. They will also maintain all the furnishings of the sacred tent, serving in the tabernacle on behalf of all the Israelites. Assign the Levites to Aaron and his sons. They had been given from among all the people of Israel to serve as their assistants. Appoint Aaron and his sons to carry out the duties of priesthood, but any unauthorized parts who go near the sanctuary must be put to death." And the Lord said to Moses, "Look, I have chosen the Levites among the Israelites to serve as substitute for the firstborn sons of the people of Israel. The Levites belong to me, for all the firstborn males are mine. On the day I struck down all the firstborn sons of the Egyptians, I set apart for myself all the firstborns in Israel, both of the people and of the animals. They are mine. I am the Lord." Registration of the Levites. The Lord spoke again to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai. He said, "Record the names of the members of the tribe of Levi by their families and clans. List every male who is a month or older." So Moses listed just as the Lord had commanded. Levi had three sons, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The clans descended from Gershon were named after two of his descendants, Libni and Shimi. The clans descendants from Kohath were named after four of his descendants, Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. The clans descended from Merari were named after two of his descendants, Mahli and Mushi. These are the Levite clans listed according to their family group. The descendants of Gershon were composed of the clans descended from Libni and Shimei. There were 7,500 males 1 month old or older than among the Gershonite clans. They were assigned the camp to the west of the tabernacle for their camp. They were assigned the area to the west of the tabernacle for their camp. The leader of the Gershonite clan was Elisaph, son of Lael. These two clans were responsible to care for the tabernacle, including the sacred tent with all its layers and coverings, the curtain at its entrance, the curtain of the courtyard that surrounded the tabernacle and the altar, the curtain at the courtyard entrance, the ropes, and all the equipment related to their use. The descendants of Kohath were composed of the clans descended from Amram, Izhar, Hebron, Uzziel. there were 8,600 males 1 month or older among the Kohathite clans. They were responsible for the care of the sanctuary, and they were assigned the area south of the tabernacle for their camp. The leader of the Kohathite clan was Elizaphan, son of Uzziel. These are the 4 clans which were responsible for the care of the ark, the table, the lampstand, the altars, the various articles used in the sanctuary, the inner curtain, and all the equipment related to their use. Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, was the chief administrator over all of the Levites, with special responsibility for all the oversight of the sanctuary. The descendants of Merari were composed of the clan's descendants from Mahli and Mushi. These were the 6,200 1-month-old or there were 6,200 males 1 month old or older among the Merarite clans. They were assigned the area north of the tabernacle for their camp. The leader of the Merarite clan was Zuriel, son of Abihail. These 2 clans were responsible for the care of the frames supporting the tabernacle, the crossbars, the pillars, the base, and all the equipment related to their use. They were also responsible for the posts of the courtyard and all their bases, pegs, and ropes. The area in front of the tabernacle in the east, towards the sunrise, was reserved for the tents of Moses and Aaron and his sons, who had the final responsibility for the sanctuary on behalf of Israel. Anyone other than a priest or Levite who was too near the sanctuary would be put to death. When Moses and Aaron counted the Levite clans as the Lord had commanded, the total number was 22,000 males 1 month old or older. Redeeming the firstborn sons. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Now count all the firstborn sons in Israel who are 1 month or older, and make a list of their names. The Levites must be reserved for me as a substitute for the firstborn son of Israel. I am the Lord, and the Levites' livestock must be reserved for me as substitutes for the firstborn livestock of the whole nation of Israel." So Moses counted the firstborn sons of the people of Israel, just as the Lord had commanded. The number of the firstborn sons who were 1 month old or older was 22,273. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Take the Levites as a substitute for the firstborn sons of the people of Israel, and take the livestock of the Levites as substitutes for the firstborn livestock of the people of Israel. The Levites belong to me. I am the Lord. There are 273 more firstborn sons of Israel than there are Levites. To redeem these extra firstborn sons, collect 5 pieces of silver for each of them, each piece weighing the same as the sanctuary shekel, which equals 20 gerahs. Give the silver to Aaron and his sons as the redemption price for the extra firstborn sons. So Moses collected the silver for redeeming the firstborn son of Israel, who exceeds the number of the Levites. He collected 1,365 pieces of silver on behalf of these firstborn sons of Israel. And Moses gave the silver for redemption to Aaron and his sons, as the Lord had commanded. Duties of the Kohathite clan. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Record the names of the members of the clans and families of the Kohathite division in the tribe of Levi. List all the men between the ages of 30 and 50 who are eligible to serve in the tabernacle. The duties of the Kohathites at the tabernacle will relate to the most sacred objects. When the camp moves, Aaron and his sons must enter the tabernacle first to take down the inner curtains and cover the Ark Covenant with it. They must cover the inner curtain with fine goatskin leather and spread over a single piece of blue cloth. Finally, they must put the carrying poles of the ark in place. Then they must spread a blue cloth over the table where the bread of presence is displayed, and on the cloth they will place the bowls, ladles, jars, and pitchers, and a special bread. They must spread a scarlet cloth over all of this, and finally a covering of fine goatskin leather on top of the scarlet cloth. Then they must insert the carrying poles into the table. Next, they must cover the lampstand with the blue cloth, along with its lamp snuffers, trays, and special jars of olive oil. Then they must cover the lampstand and its accessories with fine goatskin leather and places to bundle on a carrying frame. Next, they must spread a blue cloth over the gold incense altar and cover this cloth with a fine goatskin leather. Then they must attach the carrying pole to the altar. They must take all remaining furnishings of the sanctuary and wrap them in blue cloth, cover them with fine goatskin leather, and place them on the carrying frame. They must remove the ashes from the altar for sacrifices, and cover the altar with a purple cloth. All of the altar utensils, the fire pans, meat forks, shovels, basins, and the containers must be placed on the cloth, and a covering of fine goatskin leather must be spread over them. Finally, they must put the carrying poles in place. The camp will be ready to move when Aaron and his sons have finished covering the sanctuary and all the sacred articles. The Kohathites will come and carry these things to the next destination, but they must not touch the sacred objects or they will die. So these are the things from the tabernacle that the Kohathites must carry. Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, will be responsible for the oil of the lampstand, the fragrant incense of the daily grain offering, and the anointing oil. In fact, Eleazar will be responsible for the entire tabernacle and everything in it, including the sanctuary and its furnishings. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Do not let the Kohathite clan be destroyed from among the Levites. This is what you must do, so that they will live and not die, and when they approach the most sacred objects." Aaron and his sons must always go with them and assign a specific duty or load to each person. The Kohathites must never enter the sanctuary to look at the sacred objects for even a moment, or they will die. I don't know why, but that's how it is. Duties of the Gershonite clan. And the Lord said to Moses, "Record the names of the members of the clans and the families of Gershonite division of the tribe of Levi. List all the men between ages of 30 and 50 who are eligible to serve in the tabernacle. These are Gershonite clans will be responsible for general service and carrying loads. They must carry the curtain of the tabernacle itself with its coverings, the outer covering of the fine goatskin leather, and the curtain for the tabernacle entrance. They are also to carry the curtains from that courtyard and the surrounding of the tabernacle and the altar, the curtain around the courtyard entrance, the ropes, and all the equipment related to the use. And the Gershonites are responsible of these items. Aaron and his sons will be direct to the Gershonites regarding all their duties, whether it involves moving the equipment or doing other work. They must assign the Gershonites responsibility for the loads that they carry. So these are the duties assigned to the Gershonite clans of the tabernacle. They will be directly responsible to Ithamar, sons of Aaron the priest. Duties of the Merarite clan. Now record the names of the members of the clans and the families to the Merarite division of the tribe of Levi. These are the men between the ages of 30 and 50 who are eligible to serve in the tabernacle. Their only duty in the tabernacle will be to carry the loads. They will also carry the frames of the tabernacle, the crossbars, the posts, and the bases. Also the posts of the courtyard walls with their bases, pegs, and ropes, and all of the accessories and everything else related to their use. Assign the various loads to each man by name. So these are the duties of the Merarite clans of the tabernacle. They are directly responsible to Ithamar, son of Aaron the priest. Summary of the registration. So Moses, Aaron, and the other leaders of the community listened to the members of the Kohathite division by their clans and families. The list included all the men between 30 and 50 of age who were eligible for service in the tabernacle, and the total number came to 2,750. So this is the total number of those from the Kohathite clan who were eligible to serve at the tabernacle. Moses and Aaron listed them just as the Lord had commanded through Moses. The Gershonite division was also listed in its clans and families. The list includes all the men between 30 and 50 years of age who were eligible for service of the tabernacle, and the total number came to 2,630. So this was the total of all those from the Gershonite clans who were eligible to serve at the tabernacle. Moses and Aaron listed them just as the Lord had commanded. The Merarite division was also listed by its clans and families. The list includes all the men between 30 and 50 years of age who were eligible of service in the tabernacle, and the total number came to 3,200. So this was the total of all those from the Merarite clans who were eligible for service. Moses and Aaron listened to them just as the Lord had commanded through Moses. So Moses, Aaron, and the leaders of Israel listed all the Levites by their clans and families, all the men between 30 and 50 years of age who were eligible for service in the tabernacle, and for its transportation numbered to 8,580. When their names were recorded as the Lord had commanded through Moses, each man was assigned his task and was told what to carry, and so the registration was complete just as the Lord had commanded. Purity in Israel's camp. The Lord gave these instructions to Moses: command the people of Israel to remove the camp anyone who has a skin disease or discharge, or who has become ceremonially unclean by touching a dead person. This command applies to men and women alike. Remove them so they will not defile the camp in which I live among them. So the Israelites did as the Lord had commanded Moses and removed such people from the camp. Then the Lord said to Moses, give the following instructions To the people of Israel, if any of the people, men or women, betray the Lord by doing wrong to another person, they are guilty. They must confess their sin and make full restitution for what they have done, adding additional 20% and returning it to the person who was wronged. But if the person who was wronged is dead, and there is no near relatives to whom restitution can be made, the payment belongs to the Lord and must be given to the priests. Those who are guilty must also bring a ram as a sacrifice, and they will be purified and made right with the Lord. All the sacred offerings that the Israelite brings to a priest will belong to him. Each priest may keep all the sacred donations that he receives. Protecting marital faithfulness. And then the Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. Suppose a man's wife goes astray, and she is unfaithful to her husband, and she does wrong with another man. But neither her husband nor anyone else knows about it. She has defiled herself even though there was no witness and she was not caught in the act. If her husband becomes jealous and is suspicious of his wife and needs to know whether or not she has defiled herself, the husband must bring his wife to the priest. He must also bring an offering of 2 quarts of barley flour to be presented on her behalf. Do not mix with olive oil or frankincense, for it is a jealousy offering, an offering to prove whether or not she is guilty. The priest who then presents her to stand trial before the Lord, he must take some holy water in the clay jar and pour it into dust he has taken from the tabernacle floor. When the priest has presented the woman before the Lord, he must unbind her hand and place it in her hands as an offering of proof, the jealousy offering to determine whether her husband's suspicions are justified. The priest will stand before her holding the jar of bitter water and bring a curse to those who are guilty. The priest will then put the woman under an oath and say to her, "If no other man has had as with you, and you have not gone astray and defiled yourself while under your husband's authority, may you be immune to the effects of this bitter water that bring on the curse. But if you have gone astray and have been unfaithful to your husband, and have defiled yourself by having as with another man," at this point the priest must put down the woman under the oath by saying, "May the people who know the Lord's curse is upon know that the Lord's curse is upon you when you make up your infertile, causing your womb to shrivel and your abdomen to swell. Now may this water and bring the curse enter your body and cause your abdomen to swell and your womb to shrivel. And the woman will be required to say, 'Yes, let it so.' And the priest will write these curses on a piece of leather and wash them off on bitter water. Then he will make the woman drink the bitter water and bring out the curse. When the water enters her body, it will cause a bitter suffering if she is guilty." Then the priest will take the jealousy offering from the woman's hand, lift it up before the Lord, and carry it in the altar. He will take a handful of the flour as a token portion to burn it in the altar, and he will require the woman to drink the water. If she has defiled herself by being unfaithful to her husband, the water that brings up the curse will cause a bitter suffering. Her abdomen will swell, and her womb will shrink, and her name will become a curse among her people. But if she has not defiled herself and it is pure, then she will be unharmed and she will be able to have children. This is the ritual law for dealing with suspicion. If a woman goes astray and defiles herself while under her husband's authority, or if a man becomes jealous and is suspicious that his wife has become unfaithful, the husband must present his wife before the Lord, and the priest will apply this entire ritual law to her. The husband will be innocent of any guilt in this matter, but his wife will be held accountable for her sin. Nazirite laws. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. If any of the people, either man or woman, take a special vow of the Nazirite, setting themselves apart to the Lord in a special way, they must give up wine and other alcoholic drinks. They must not use vinegar made from wine or from other alcoholic drinks, and they may not drink fresh grape juice, and they may not eat grapes or raisins as long as they are bound by their Nazirite vow. They are not allowed to eat or drink anything that comes from the grapevine, not even the grape seeds or skins. They must never cut their hair through the time of their vow, for they are holy and set apart to the Lord. Until the time of their vow has been fulfilled, they must let their hair grow long, and they must not go near a dead body during the entire period of their vow to the Lord. Even if a dead person is their own father and mother, brother or sister, they must not defile themselves, for the hair on their head is a symbol of their separation to God. This requirement applies as long as they are set apart to the Lord. If someone falls dead besides them, the hair that has been dedicated will be defiled. They must wait for 7 days and then shave their head. They will be cleansed from their defilement. On the 8th day they must bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons to the priest at the entrance of the tabernacle. The priest will offer one of the birds for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. In this way he will purify them from the guilt they incurred through the contact with the dead body. Then they must reaffirm their commitment and let their hair begin to grow. The days of their vows will be completed before their defilement no longer counts. They must rededicate themselves to the Lord as a Nazirite for the full term of their vows, and each must bring a 1-year-old lamb for a guilt offering. This is the ritual law for the Nazirites. As the conclusion of their time of separation as Nazirites, they must each go to the entrance of the tabernacle and offer their sacrifices to the Lord. A 1-year-old male lamb with no defects for a burnt offering, a 1-year-old female lamb with no defects for sin offering, a ram without defects for a peace offering, a basket of bread made without yeast, cake of choice flour mixed with olive oil, and wafers spread with olive oil, along with their prescribed grain offerings and liquid offerings. The priest will present these offerings to the Lord, first the sin offering and the burnt offering, then the ram for a peace offering, along with the basket of bread made without yeast. The priest must also present the prescribed grain offering and the liquid offering to the Lord. Then the Nazirites will shave their heads at the entrance of the tabernacle. They will take their hair at the dedicated place in on the fire beneath the peace offering sacrifice. After the Nazirite's head has been shaved, the priest will take each of them the boiled shoulder of the ram, and he will take from the basket a cake and wafer made without yeast. He will put them all into the Nazirite's hands. Then the priest will lift them up as a special offering before the Lord. These are the holy portions for the priest, along with the breast of the special offering and the thigh of the sacred offering that are lifted up before the Lord. After this ceremony, the Nazirites must drink the wine. May drink wine. Again, these are the ritual laws of the Nazirites who vow to bring these offerings to the Lord. They may also bring additional offerings if they can afford it, and they must be careful to do whatever they vowed when they set themselves apart as Nazirites. The priestly blessing. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron and his sons to bless the people of Israel with this special Tell Aaron and his sons to bless the people of Israel with this special blessing. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show his favor and give you peace. Whenever Aaron and his sons bless the people of Israel in my name, I myself will bless them." Offerings of dedication. On the day Moses set up the tabernacle, he anointed it and set it apart as holy. He also anointed and set apart all the furnishings in the altar with its utensils. Then the leader of Israel, the tribal leader who had registered the troops, came and brought their offerings. Together they brought 6 large wagons and 12 oxen. There were wagons for each 2 leaders and the ox for each leader. They presented these to the Lord in front of the tabernacle. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Receive these gifts and use these oxen and wagons for the transportation of the tabernacle. Distribute them among the Levites according to the work they had to do." So Moses took the wagons and oxen and presented them to the Levites. He gave 2 wagons and 4 oxen to the Gershonite division for their work, and he gave 4 wagons and 8 oxen to the Merarite divisions for their work. All their work was done under the leadership of Ithamar, son of Aaron the priest, but he gave none of the wagons or oxen to the Kohathite division, since they were required to carry the sacred objects of the tabernacle on their shoulders. The leader also presented the dedication gifts for the altar at the time it was anointed. They each placed their gifts before the altar. The Lord said to Moses, "Let one leader bring his gift each day for the dedication of the altar." On the day of Nahshon, son of Amminadab, leader of the tribe of Judah, presented his offering. His offering consisted of silver platter weighing 3 1/4 pounds, of silver base and weighing 1 3/4 pound. These were both filled with grain offerings of choice flour moistened with olive oil. He brought a gold container weighing 4 ounces that was filled with incense. He brought a young bull, a ram, and 1-year-old male lamb for burnt offering, and a male goat skin for a sin offering. For a peace offering, he brought 2 lambs, 2 bulls, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 1-year-old lambs. This was the offering brought by Nahshon, son of Amminadab. On the second day, Nathanael, son of Zuar, leader of the tribe of Issachar, presented his offering. His offering consisted of a silver platter weighing 3 1/4 pounds and a silver basin weighing 1 3/4 pounds, as measured by the weight of the sanctuary shekel. These were both filled with grain offerings of choice flour moistened with olive oil. He also brought a golden container weighing 4 ounces, which was filled with incense. He brought a young bull, a ram, and a 1-year-old male for a burnt offering, and a male goat for a sin offering. For a peace offering, he brought 2 bulls, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 1-year-old male lambs. This was the offering brought by Nathanael, son of Zuar. On the third day, Eliab, son of Helon, leader of the tribe of Zebulun, presented his offering. His offering consisted of a silver platter weighing 3 1/4 pounds, of silver basin weighing 1 3/4 pounds. These were both filled with grain offering of choice flour moistened with olive oil. He also brought a gold container weighing 4 ounces, which was filled with incense. He brought a young bull and a ram and a 1-year-old male lamb for a burnt offering, and a male goat for a sin offering. For a peace offering, he brought 2 bulls, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 1-year-old male lambs. This is the offering brought by Eliab, son of Helon. On the fourth day, Eliezer, son of Shedeur, leader of the tribe of Reuben, presented his offering. His offering consisted of a silver platter weighing 3 1/4 pounds, a silver basin weighing 1 3/4 pounds. These were both filled with a grain offering of choice flour moistened with olive oil. He also brought a gold container weighing 4 ounces, which was filled with incense. He brought a young bull and a ram and a 1-year-old male lamb for a burnt offering, and a male goat for a sin offering. For a peace offering, he brought 2 bulls, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 1-year-old male lambs. This was the offering brought by Eliezer, son of Shedeur. Okay, so they're basically just showing the offerings, which is, it lasts many of the pages, so I'm going to skip to preparing the lamps. The Lord said to Moses, "Give Aaron the following instructions when you set up the 7 lamps in the lampstand. Place them so their light shines forward in front of the lampstand." So Aaron did this. He set up the 7 lamps so they reflected their light forward, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. The entire lampstand, from its base to its decorative blossoms, were made of beaten gold. It was built according to the exact design the Lord had showed Moses. The Levites dedicated. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Now set up the Levites apart from the rest of the people of Israel and make them ceremonially clean. Do this by sprinkling them with water of purification and have them shave their entire body and wash their clothes. Then they will be ceremonially clean. Have them bring a young bull and a grain offering of choice flour moistened with olive oil, along with the second young bull for a sin offering. Then assemble the whole community of Israel and present the Levites at the entrance of the tabernacle. When you present the Levites before the Lord, the people of Israel must lay their hands on them. Raising his hand, Aaron must then present the Levites to the Lord as a special offering from the people of Israel, thus dedicating them to the Lord's service." Okay, give me a second. I have to search something up. Okay. I was just having a confusing question about Christianity and how because science says that the earth is like 4 billion years old. But then the Bible says it's 6,000 years old? And I want to believe everything in the Bible. Or the Bible, does the Bible explicitly state? Okay. Yeah, so the Bible does not explicitly state how old the earth is, which is kind of helpful for me because I want to believe everything in the Bible, and if it's not there, that just means it's kind of up to interpretation, not for the reader. I guess it kind of is, but okay. Anyways, where was I? Now the Levites will lay their hand on the head of the young bulls. Okay, I think I'm past that. Of all the people of Israel, the Levites are reserved for me. I have claimed them for myself in place of the firstborn sons of Israelites. I have taken the Levites as their substitutes, for all the firstborn males among the people of Israel are mine, both of people and animals. I set them apart for myself. On a day I struck down on the firstborn sons of the Egyptians. Yes, I have claimed the Levites in place of all the firstborn sons of Israel. And all the Israelites I have assigned the Levites to Aaron and his sons. They will serve in the tabernacle on behalf of the Israelites and make sacrifices to purify the people, so no plague will strike them when they approach the sanctuary. So Moses and Aaron and the whole community of Israel dedicated the Levites carefully, following the Lord's instructions to Moses. The Levites purified themselves from sin and washed their clothes, and Aaron lifted them up and presented them to the Lord as a special offering. He then offered a sacrifice to purify them and make them right with the Lord. After that, the Levites went into the tabernacle to perform their duties, assisting Aaron and his sons. So they carried out all the commands that the Lord gave Moses concerning the Levites. Then the Lord also instructed Moses, "This is the rule the Levites must follow. They must begin serving in the tabernacle at the age of 25, and they must retire at the age of 50. After the retirement, they may assist their fellow Levites by serving as guards at the tabernacle, but they may not officiate in service. This is how you must assign duties to the Levites." Okay, the second Passover. A year after Israel's departure from Egypt, the Lord spoke to Moses in the wilderness on Sinai. In the first month of the year, he said, "Tell the Israelites to celebrate the Passover at the prescribed time at twilight on the 14th day of the first month. Make sure to follow all the decrees and regulations concerning this celebration." So Moses told the people to celebrate the Passover in the wilderness of Sinai at twilight fell on the 14th day of the month, and they celebrated the festival there just as the Lord had commanded Moses. But some of the men had been ceremonially defiled by touching a dead body, so they could not celebrate the Passover that day. They came to Moses and Aaron that day and said, "We have become ceremonially unclean by touching a dead body. But why should we be prevented from presenting the Lord's offerings at the proper time with the rest of the Israelites?" Moses answered, "Wait here until I have received instructions for you from the Lord." Then this was the Lord's reply to Moses. This was the Lord's reply to Moses. "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. If any of the people now or in the future generations are ceremonially unclean at Passover time because of touching a dead body, or if they are on a journey and cannot be present at the ceremony, they must celebrate the Lord's Passover. They must offer the Passover sacrifice 1 month later, at twilight on the 14th day of the second month. They must eat the Passover lamb at the time with bitter salad, greens, and bread made without yeast. They must not leave any of the lamb until the next morning, and they must not break any of its bones. They must follow all of the normal regulations concerning the Passover, but those who neglect to celebrate the Passover at regular time, even though they are ceremonially clean and not always away on a trip, will be cut off from the communities of Israel. If they fail to present the Lord's offerings at a proper time, they will suffer the consequences of their guilt. And the foreigners living among you want to celebrate the Passover to the Lord. They must follow the same decrees and regulations, the same laws both to native-born Israelites and to the foreigners living among you. Okay, the fiery cloud. On the day the tabernacle was set up, the cloud covered it, but from evening until the morning the cloud over the tabernacle looked like a pillar of fire. This was the regular pattern. At night the cloud that covered the tabernacle had the appearance of fire. Whenever the cloud lifted from the sacred tent, the people of Israel would break camp and follow it, and whenever the cloud settled, the people of Israel would settle up camp. In this way they traveled and camped as the Lord had commanded, wherever he told them to go. They remained in their camp as long as the cloud stayed over the tabernacle. If the cloud remained over the tabernacle for a long time, the Israelites stayed and performed their duties to the Lord. Sometimes the cloud would stay over the tabernacle for only a few days, so the people would stay for only a few days, as the Lord had commanded. Then the Lord's command, they would break camp and move on. Sometimes the cloud stayed only overnight and lifted the next morning. But day or night, when the cloud lifted, the people broke camp and moved on. Whether the cloud stayed above the tabernacle for 2 days, a month, a year, the people of Israel stayed in camp and did not move on. But as soon as they lifted, they broke camp and moved on. So they camped or traveled as the Lord commanded, and they did whatever the Lord had told them through Moses. The silver trumpets. Now the Lord had said to Moses, "Make 2 trumpets of hammered silver for calling the community to assemble and for signaling the breaking of camp. When both trumpets are blown, everyone must gather before you at the entrance of the tabernacle. But if only one trumpet is blown, then only the leader and the heads of the clan of Israel must present themselves to you." When you sound the signals to move on, the tribe camped on the east side of the tabernacle must break camp and move forward. When you sound the signal a second time, the tribe camped on the south will follow. You must sound short blasts at the signal for moving on, but when you call for the people to assemble, blow the trumpet with a different signal. Only the priests, Aaron's descendants, are allowed to blow the trumpets. This is a permanent law for you to be observed from generation to generation. When you arrive in your own land and go to war against your enemies who attack you, sound the alarm with the trumpets. Then the Lord your God will remember you and rescue you from your enemies. Blow the trumpets in time of gladness too, sounding them at your annual festivals and at the beginning of each month, and blow the trumpets over your burnt offerings and peace offerings. The trumpets will remind your God of his covenant with you. I am the Lord your God. Okay. Thanks for watching. Wait, actually, let's end it off on a good note. I'm going to finish it up. Okay, the Israelites leaving Sinai. In the 2nd year after the Israelites' departure from Egypt, on the 20th day of the 2nd month, the cloud lifted from the tabernacle of the covenant. So the Israelites set out from the wilderness of Sinai and traveled on from place to place until the cloud stopped in the wilderness of Paran. When the people set out for the first time following the instructions of the Lord had given through Moses, Judah's troops led the way. They marched behind their banner, and their leader was Nahshon, son of Amminadab. They were joined by the troops of the tribe of Issachar, led by Nethanel, son of Zuar, and the troops of the tribe of Zebulun, led by Eliab, son of Helon. Then the tabernacle was taken down, and the Gershonite and Merarite division of the Levites were next in line of the march, carrying the tabernacle with them. Reuben's troop was next, marching behind their banner. Their leader, I'm sorry, I lost it. Their leader were Eleazar, son of Shudar. Then they were joined by the troops of tribes Simeon, led by Shemuel's sons Zurishaddai, and the troop of the tribe of Gad, led by Elizaphat, son of Duel. Next came the Kohathite division of the Levites, carrying the sacred objects of the tabernacle. Before they arrived at the second camp, the tabernacle would already be set up at its new location. Ephraim's troops were next, marching behind their banner. Their leader was Elishama, son of Ammuhab. They were joined by the troops at the tribe of Manasseh, led by the Gamiel, son of Pedazur, and the troop of the tribe of Benjamin, led by Abidan, son of Gideoni. Dan's troops were last marching behind their banner and serving as the rear guard for all tribal camps. Their leader was Izahar, son of Ammishaddai. They were joined by the troops of the tribe of Asher, led by Pagiel, son of Okran, and the troops of the tribe of Naphtali, led by Ahira, son of Enan. This was the order in which all the Israelites marched division by division. One day Moses said to his brother-in-law Hobab, son of Reuel, Midianite, "We are on our way to the place that the Lord promised us, for he said, 'I will give it to you. Come with us, and we will treat you well, for the Lord has promised wonderful blessings for Israel.' But Hobab replied, 'No, I will not go. I must return to my own land and family.' 'Please don't leave us,' Moses pleaded. 'You know the place in the wilderness where we should camp. Come, be our guide. If you do, we'll share with you all the blessings of the Lord.' They marched for 3 days after leaving the mountain of the Lord, with the ark of the Lord's covenant moving ahead of them to show them where to stop and rest. As they moved on each day, the cloud of the Lord hovering above them, and when the ark set out, Moses would shout, 'Arise, O Lord, and let your enemies be scattered. Let them flee before you.' And when the ark would set down, he would say, 'Return, O Lord, to the countless thousands of Israel's.' The people complained to Moses. Soon the people began to complain about their hardships, and the Lord heard everything they said. Then the Lord's anger blazed against them, and he set a fire to rage among them, and he destroyed some of the people in the outskirts of the camp. Then the people screamed to Moses for help, and when he prayed to the Lord, the fire stopped. After that, the area was known as Taberah, because the fire from the Lord had burned them there. Then the foreign rabble who were traveling through the Israelites began to crave the good things of Egypt, and the people of Israel also began to exclaim, 'Oh, for some meat!' They exclaimed. 'We remember the fish we used to eat for free in Egypt, and they had all the cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, garlics we ever wanted. Now our appetite is gone, and all we ever see is this mammal.' The manna looked like a small coriander seed, and it was pale yellow like gum resin. The people who would go out and gather it from the ground, they made flour by grinding it with hand mills or pounding it in mortars. Then they boiled it in a pot and made it into flat cakes. These cakes tasted like pastries baked with olive oil. The manna came down on the camp with dew during the night. Moses heard all the families standing in the doorway of their tents whining, and the Lord became extremely angry. Moses was also very aggravated, and Moses said to the Lord, 'Why are you treating me, your servant, so harshly? Have mercy on me. What did I do to deserve the burden of all these people? Did I give birth to them? Did I bring them into the world? Why did you tell me to carry them in my arms like mothers carry a nursing a baby? How can I carry them to the land you swore to give their ancestors? Well, where am I supposed to get meat for all of these people? They keep whining at me to saying, 'Give us meat to eat.' I can't carry these people myself. The load is far too heavy. If this is how you intend to treat me, just go ahead and kill me. Do me a favor and spare the misery." Moses chose 70 leaders. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Gather me 70 men who are recognized as elders and leaders of Israel. Bring them to the tabernacle to stand there with you. I will come down and talk to you there. I will take some of the Spirit that is upon you, and I will put the Spirit upon them also. They will bear the burden of the people along with you, so you will not have to carry it alone. And say to the people, 'Purify yourselves, for tomorrow you will eat meat yourself. You were whining, and the Lord heard you when you cried, "Oh, for some meat. You were better off in Egypt." Now the Lord will give you meat, and you will have to eat it. And it won't be just for a day or two. It will be 5 or 10 or even 20. You will eat it for a whole month until you gag and are sick of it. For you have rejected the Lord who is here among you, and you have whined to him, saying, Why did we ever leave Egypt?" Okay, so... But Moses responded to the Lord, "There are 600,000 foot soldiers here with me, and yet you say I will give them meat for a whole month? Even if we butchered all our flock and the herds, would that satisfy them? Even if we caught all the fish in the sea, would that even be enough?" Then the Lord said to Moses, "Has my arm lost its power? Now you will see whether or not my words come true. So Moses went out and reported the Lord's words to the people. He gathered the 70 elders and stationed them outside the tabernacle. And the Lord came down to the cloud and spoke to Moses. Then he gave the 70 elders the same spirit that was upon Moses. And then when the spirit rested upon them, they prophesied. But this never happened again. 2 men, Eldad and Medad, had stayed behind in camp. They were listed among the elders, but they had not gone out to the tabernacle. Yet the Spirit rested upon them as well. So many prophesied there in the camp. A young man ran and reported to Moses, Eldad and Medad are prophesying in the camp. Joshua, son of Nun, who had been Moses' assistant since his youth, protested, Moses, my master, make them stop. But Moses replied, Are you jealous for my sake? I wish that all the Lord's people were prophets, and that the Lord would put his spirit upon them. Then Moses returned to the camp with the elders of Israel. Okay. Now the Lord sent a wind that brought quail from the sea and let them fall all around the camp. For miles in every direction there was quail flying about 3 feet above the ground. So the people went out and caught quail all that day and throughout the night and all the next day too. No one gathered less than 50 bushels. They spread the quail all around the camp to dry, but while they were gorging themselves on the meat, while it was still in their mouths, the anger of the Lord blazed against the people, and he struck them with a severe plague, so that place was called Kibroth Hattaavah, which means graves of gluttony, because they were buried from the people who had craved meat from Egypt. So that place was called Kibroth Hattaavah because there they buried the people who had craved meat from Egypt. From Kibroth Hattaavah, the Israelites traveled to Hazeroth, where they stayed for some time. The complaints of Miriam and Aaron. While they were at Hazeroth, Miriam and Aaron criticized Moses because he had married a Cushite woman. They said, Has the Lord spoken only through Moses? Hasn't he spoken through us too? But the Lord heard them. Now Moses was very humble, more humble than any other son on earth. So immediately the Lord called to Moses. Aaron and Miriam said, Go out to the tabernacle, all 3 of you. So the Lord of them went to the tabernacle. Then the Lord descended into a pillar of cloud and stood at the entrance of the tabernacle. Aaron and Miriam he called, and they stepped forward, and the Lord said to them, Now listen to what I say. If there was a prophet among you, I, the Lord, would reveal myself in visions. I would speak to them in my dreams, but not with my servant Moses. Of all my houses, he is the one I trust. I speak to him face to face, clearly and not in riddles. He sees the Lord as he is. So why were you not afraid to criticize my servant Moses? The Lord was very angry with them, and he departed. As the clouds moved above the sky of the tabernacle, there stood Miriam, her skin white as snow from leprosy. When Aaron saw that had happened to her, he cried out to Moses, Oh, my master, please don't punish us for this sin we have foolishly committed. Don't let her be a stillborn baby already decayed at birth. So Moses cried out to the Lord, Oh God, I beg you to please heal her. Then the Lord said to Moses, If her father had done nothing more than spit in her face, wouldn't she be defiled for 7 days? So keep her outside the camp for 7 days, and after that she will be accepted back. So Miriam was kept outside the camp for 7 days, and the people waited until she was brought back before they traveled again. Then they left Hazeroth and camped in the wilderness of Paran.